and welcome to another Daily Digest video. I am Merriam, and today I am playing one of the really interesting decks that came out of this big modern weekend, top 8 of the Grand Prix in Japan. It's an Esper control list, but as you see, it has Glory-Bound Initiate. Not really thought of as a control card, but here it's used as an efficient attacker, and the life gain is really relevant because the deck plays 4 copies of Painful Truths. So I'm going to see how this plays out. We've got a good mix of lands, threats, and removal, so I'm going to definitely keep this hand. Our opponent has kept 7 and is on the play, and we'll see what is up. Misty Rainforest, little counters company. Breeding Pool, are they infecting like some sort of Tom Ross maniac? Okay, suspend search for tomorrow. So Scapeshift, but a controlling Scapeshift deck? Yeah, that's what makes sense to me. Unfortunately, that means our fatal pushes are pretty poor. This is not really the hand for the matchup. So we're going to have to put in some work here. Let's see what they have on turn 2. Could be Omen. They could be Bring to Lighting. Another search. Okay. Well, no auspicious start. We'll get a Hallowed Fountain here. Definitely want more blue sources. A second white source never hurt. Oof. Batterskull and Taskar are 2 sort of big threats. I've drawn them both here in a pretty fast matchup. Not the best. On the bright side, we have stayed above 18 life here, which is relevant against Scapeshift. Means they're going to have to get to 8 lands to kill us with their namesake card. Might buy us 1 extra turn here in the race. Don't really plan on exerting this Initiate unless I need the life for Painful Truths. Just want to keep attacking, deal the most damage. Okay, so land plus Fatal Push only gets us to 3 in the graveyard, and we'll have to use a mana to do it, so we can't Tassiger yet. And this fetch does bring us to 18, so... so they're going to go to... They're going to go to 5 lands with this Tribe Elder, 6 on their turn with Search, and then play a 7th land, so I really don't want to go to 18. I guess I could push and just hold up the fetch land, and then if my opponent Scapeshifts me for that amount of life, I can just not crack the fetch. That makes sense. And I do want to just deal the most damage. So, push your Tribe Elder. This is about the only target they have for Fatal Push, so even though it doesn't look great, I'm happy to do it. And let's attack for 3. Really want to see... Mana Leak isn't going to be great anymore because there's so many lands. Cryptic Command is the card I want to see. There we go. Cryptic Command, please. Given the Temple Garden, I'm going to assume they are a Bring to Light version, but maybe not one with black. I think they might play all 5 colors. I'm not super familiar with the way these decks look right now. Get our 3rd blue source for potential Cryptic Command. And... okay, that'll let us play Tasker with 2 mana up. And I think I'm going to want to just gain life here on this turn, just in case they don't have an 8th land to go along with the Scapeshift. Okay then. I will accept that. They're just trying to buy time. I'm just going to crack this fetch and play this Tasker. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bluff whatever I can. Maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, I shouldn't even bluff anything. I just need to try to kill them, and this is a 2-turn clock. Hopefully they just don't have Scapeshift. Am I dead? You're always dead, by the way. Sort of a rhetorical question. Main deck here, I don't think is very well set up for this matchup. Not a ton of counter magic. It's a couple mana leaks, a couple spell snares. I'm not sure how much we have on the board. We have 2 Thoughtseizes main. There's a negate in the sideboard, which is nice. Not a lot for this matchup. Okay, very clearly teamer-based, splashing white. Might have 1 black land for Bring to Light. It's possible they don't have any 5s to search over with Bring to Light, so they just have the 1 Tumble Garden, so they can cast Scape Shift with it. And we have lost. Oh, we have lost Legacy in our sideboard. Well, that's great. Gonna want those. And Vendilion. Okay, I lied. Sideboard seems great. These 5 cards seem awesome. And this Batter Skull is quite poor. I'll leave in the Tassiger as a good threat that we can cast on the cheap. And I definitely don't want Fatal Pushes. The question is if I want to leave in some other removal spells to deal with maybe Primeval Titan, some other big creature they can bring in after sideboard. I assume Go for the Throat is better than Devour Flesh. And I'd rather have 1 mana spells than not 1 mana spells. Because we're probably going to fight some counter wars here. I think I'd rather just cut a Lingering Souls. It's definitely one of our worst threats, but probably still better than Batter Skull. We're bringing in Vendilion Click too, so maybe we want to cut both and have Devour Flesh in our deck. Alternatively, we could have Disenchant to deal with potential Prismatic Omens. That's so narrow, though. I think I'll just leave in the Lingering Souls. 3 removal spells for creatures I'm not even sure are there seems fine to me. So, yes, I would like to play first. Oof, this is a risky one. So we have ways to dig towards Lost Legacy, which is nice. And I think I'll keep it. I just like these. We have to find good things, and making land drops in this matchup is going to be important to win counter wars. So I'm not that concerned with having a land heavy hand. And if you replaced any of these lands with almost any spell in our deck, this hand would be great. So this hand can't be that much worse. And well, I think I screwed this up. Yeah, I definitely screwed this up. I wanted to fetch before I Serum Vision, but I didn't realize I only had 1 Watery Grave in the deck. So I can either get Godless Shrine or be Black Source short of casting Lost Legacy. I'll just get the Godless Shrine. I think I can wait a turn on this Serum Visions and be fine. Once again, making me look awkward, but Glorbound Initiate, Painful Truths, another Visions. I don't think I'm going to have time to Painful Truths, but I want the Visions. I just want to dig towards my good cards. And next turn I can Initiate plus Visions. Yeah, probably Tribe Elder. Well, Visions first, in case I want to hold up for something. Cryptic is great. I don't need more lands, but I like the Spell Stinger. It'll counter negates for my opponent or more ramp spells. So let's play this Initiate. Good chance when they see the Initiate that they don't even sack the Tribe Elder here, unless they have something to do with the mana. And we've managed to just draw all spells here because of our card filtering, and despite my my misstep there, because I'm not that familiar with the list, I think we're in fine shape. So, I am definitely going to... I'm just going to attack. If they want to trade here, I'm actually happy. And if they're going to block sack, which I think is their plan, I want my creature to untap. Okay, they're happy trading too. Now the question is whether I hold up Cryptic Command or I Serum Visions plus Snap Serum Visions. And I think the answer is the latter. Gets me a creature on board, uses my mana. I'm going to want to hold this Cryptic for later, I think. Another Visions. You don't say. I kind of like that, and I like this Snapcaster. So I'll have Cryptic Command Snap Cryptic if I need it. So now let's play a Snap. And Serum Visions again. Drawing all 4 Serum Visions. Still don't really want more lands. The 6th land, I guess, is relevant, but I think I'll be able to find it. And I really want to find Lost Legacy. I'm just going to bottom both. That might come back to bite me. But my good cards are so much better than my not good cards. Kodama's Reach. Is this a thing they play? They normally play the one that has Entwine, right? That they can use to do stuff. But I guess they want to play Kodama's Reach. Okay, well, sort of in the same spot we were in last. Sort of in the same spot. They are on 6 lands, so they're making their 7th land drop next turn, at which point Scapeshift is on if I take any amount of damage. I can't Serum Visions plus Cryptic unless I take damage. And if I do that, there's a good chance that they can Scapeshift with a counterspell. I could Snap Serum again and play this tapped. That would lose to Search for Tomorrow plus Scapeshift. But I think I'm going to play this conservatively. They're only at 18. We haven't gotten a big clock here. Maybe I'm supposed to play the Watery Grave tap to hold up and pass. Then they'd have to commit 3 mana. I guess, or 2 mana out of 8, which leaves them enough mana to Scapeshift plus a 2 mana counterspell to defend. But they'd have to have land, Scapeshift, ramp spell, counterspell between 6 cards, 5 in hand and 1 off the top of their deck. But if I'm going to do that, I don't think the life is relevant at that point. And if they have it, I'd rather have the Spell Sneer. So, yeah, I'm just going to pay 2 life and pass. I'm getting kind of burned, actually, for not being able to Visions on 1 and wasting that mana. I didn't find Lost Legacy, and I drew a bunch more Serum Visions. So I haven't really been able to use my mana towards other things. I've just spent so much tempo, so much development time filtering through my deck. And I've drawn a bunch of Snapcasters. So, to lose this game, it's probably just on me. My guess is they just don't do much here. Just continue developing their board unless their hand is great. Because that's usually what Scapeshift does in control matchups. So they're good at winning counter wars because they usually get ahead on mana with all their ramp spells. And they're not under a lot of pressure. Jeez. Well, can't let that resolve. Counter, draw a card. Am I getting dispelled here? No. I drew an ETB tapped land, which is awkward. Whew. I can dig for a Thoughtseize. That's probably my best, or rip Lost Legacy off this Visions. Okay, Brutality is actually not bad. I don't want either of these. I'm just going to duress them. And see what's going on. Oh, wow. Yeah, they were just setting up, sacrificing the Titan to a counter spell, and then planning on Scapeshifting me next turn. And the discard spell is great here. So 2 remands and a cryptic left over. And I just have to hope we don't see a escape shift here. Well, that's gross. Inferno Titan is also great. Yeah, I do have some removal spells for it, but I don't have a lot of time to find them. I'm going to go to 15 here, and their attack is for 11, which means I can Painful Truce for 3 and still survive an attack, unless they draw a red source. That is not exactly the removal spell we were looking for. Man. Hmm. I could throw away a Snapcaster here to get a Serum Visions off, which I think is good, actually. It also prevents me from dying to a red land off the top, because it soaks up a damage. And now that I have Lost Legacy, if I find an answer to this Titan, I can find myself in pretty good shape. So I'm going to do that. Someone sent me a message. Let's Serum Visions. Just can't stop casting Serum Visions. Removal spell, please. There's a path. Don't want that land. Put that one on top. And pass the turn. No escape shift, please. Oh, another Titan. 5 Bring to Light. Bring to Light for 3. I don't know what they would find here. I guess I was still dead to a land because they have Cryptic. They can just bounce my Snapcaster. Oh no! They figured it out! They're going to bounce their mountain and tap all of my creatures. Oh wow. Yeah, the Snapcaster did not keep me alive. But I guess what I had to do was Collective Brutality them. And then hope to find the removal spell on the next turn. That is a neat use of Cryptic Command. Card just does everything. Nice. Well, I'm not too sad losing to something like that, although we were really close to stabilizing there. If I Brutality, yeah, I mean I take the Cryptic and drain for 2, and then my Snapcast Serum Visions was going to find exactly path, even though I was going to give myself fewer cards to do it in, and then I would have lost Legacy of their escape shifts and been in pretty good shape. I don't think they have many Titans here, so yeah, a couple mistakes on my part there. Some intricate plays that I did not do perfectly, but that is sort of the name of the game when you're playing control decks. The margin for error with them is pretty slim, and that's why you have to practice them a lot. So hopefully you learned something and you enjoyed it, and you can come back and see me on Monday.